Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Hard Choice. Simple steps for showing up. My name is Brad Draper. I am your host, and it is an honor to spend this time with you, this moment with you. One thing you must understand. 2 seconds ago, that no longer exists. 2 seconds from now is never coming. You must understand this idea of time is actually made up. We do that to wrap our brains around what is actually happening, going moment by moment. But the thing you actually have is the moment. And it is in the moment that you find happiness. Looking backwards, that's called depression. Depression is changing your emotional state based off of a memory. Anxiety is looking to the future. That is changing your emotional state based off your imagination. It is pretty wild to think about when you put it in that perspective, right? Don't know why I had that tangent, but I did, which means it was for somebody. I've been pondering quite a bit about happiness. You know, some of the most brilliant marketers in the world, the largest companies, what do? They aim after happiness. The Happy Meal at McDonald's. I mean, come on, their mascot is a clown. Apple, like the big company, iPhone, Apple. It was said that Steve Jobs chose the name Apple because apples made him happy. You ever think about the fact that Amazon, their slogan is from A to Z, and they have the little arrow underneath it, but that arrow also makes us smile? McDonald's, back to McDonald's, their number one product sold is not a hamburger. It is a Coca-Cola drink. And on that cup is a smile, delivering you happiness. We really make decisions running away from pain, fear-based, or running towards pleasure, happiness-based. That's it. That's why you make every decision in your entire life. You are running away from something or you're running towards something. How often are you running away from things? How often are you taking actions right now in this moment to bring you happiness? Or are you waiting for things to occur? I had an experience yesterday that I want to touch a little bit on. Marketing isn't going so good in my business right now. And I had a meeting with my marketing team, and they came back and said, we're going to be pretty point blank. We're not happy. Well, neither am I. We learned what didn't work. And that's a great thing. When you look at aspects of marketing or any aspect of business where poo-poo happens, as Mr. Kevin O'Leary would state, you learned what didn't work. You had a learning. As long as you learned from that, then you could progress forward and find the things that do work. So we're pivoting with the marketing. And I was considering, what can I do right now? I had my fourth no-show. 4 out of 4 people for the new marketing no-show to their appointments. Clearly, we're hitting the wrong clientele. And I thought, what can I do right now to change cash flow, to move in a positive direction in the money game? So I pondered and I came up with a person and I poured energy into that person because I felt that that person could get me to the next place. And that is exactly what's happening. The coolest part about all of it, right, is what can I do right now to move the needle forward? Not sit around and wait, and when these clients come, then things will be great. When the clients come, I will be happy. That's not how it works. What are you doing right now to be happy? What are you doing right now to move yourself forward? So my wife and I, we've been wanting to, for a couple of years, do the genetic testing. Where are you from? Your health, predispositions, all this stuff, mostly out of curiosity. And so we finally did that this last year. We did it for Christmas. Go figure, I'm 100% Northwestern European. Shocker, shocker. It's exactly what I thought it was. 100% Northwestern European. Pretty much 83% of it was UK and Irish, with some Norwegian in there and some other stuff, but Northwestern European. And I also did the health examination. What am I predisposed to? We're all predisposed to a whole slew of things, and I know some people that take this as rote gold. They look at that and they say, oh my gosh, I'm this or I'm that because look at my genetic coding. Well, there's people like Wim Hof. Have you ever heard of him? The Iceman. He has actually altered his DNA, his literal genomic coding, his genotype. He has changed from cold therapy. Think about that. He has literally changed his DNA from being in ice and cold. How much do we actually know about the human body? A very, very small amount. So, looking at this stuff, predisposed to this, predisposed to that, what's the answer to all of it? All of the mitigate the risk and decrease the likelihood. If you already have a genetic predisposition, you can decrease that likelihood to negligible. So negligible, in fact, that it is near impossible. Well, for 98% of it, it was eat healthy, take care of your body, stay hydrated, get proper sleep. If you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, you will kind of learn. That's what I'm all about. I'm already doing all of the things to mitigate harm in my life. Over the last few months, we've had sickness come through our house twice, and I have yet to get any of it, which I believe is from cold plunging every day. Not only does cold plunging do fantastic things for your happy hormones, but it's also just something that's difficult. But it also creates what's called autophagy. Autophagy is the ridding of weak cells. So if you only contain strong cells with your immune system, what happens? That means your immune system is stronger. La-di-da. Magic. And then the one thing that caught my attention pretty heavily, it says that I am genetically an elite power athlete. I genetically shouldn't run. No, it says that I'm genetically not keen on endurance sports, which I know this. I'm not built for that kind of stuff. I've said that for the last 20 years. Now I can actually say scientific fact that that is the case. However, I have done an Ironman. I have done 2 marathons. I have done a century gravel bike ride and several 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 mile bike rides. I have done 6 Olympic triathlons. You must understand me right now. I'm genetically predisposed and conditioned to not do endurance sports, yet I have done what is considered the hardest endurance sport that you can do in a 24-hour period, an Ironman. Why? Why would I do that? It's for the mind. You must push your mind to become something new. It is in the pushing that you find happiness. It is in the stretching, the pulling, the prodding, the working. Right now, not tomorrow, not yesterday. We're not talking about what you did in high school. That's long gone. We're not talking about your PR on a bench press. That's long gone. What are you doing today, right now, in this very moment, to generate happiness? After all, you are the power plant. You are not the outlet in the house to find energy, is what I'm getting at. You don't just source energy from anything. You are the creator of the energy. You are the power plant. You make the energy. What are you doing to generate it? Because you need resources. The power plant here in Salt Lake primarily uses coal. They also use a little bit of nuclear, a little bit of wind, a little bit of water, a little bit of solar, primarily coal. What resources? Your sleep, your fitness, your nutrition, the resources used to generate the energy, to generate this thing I'm talking about, happiness, to generate pizzazz. A little floaty, little dust floaty coming in front of my face. That was a squirrel moment. My wife always tells me I have squirrel moments. What are you doing to push yourself? You may say, I am not genetically designed to do that. So you slough it off as a reason to not do it. Excuse. And a stupid one at that. There are so many people that do amazing things, even though they're not genetically predisposed to doing it. So I sat back and I pondered about this for quite some time. I just got proof that I'm built to fight gravity, yet I still went and rode a spin bike yesterday, 2 days ago, for 23 miles. I do it twice a week. And when it's warmer outside, I'll do it 3 days a week. But as of right now, I'm on a spin bike at the gym, mostly for safety reasons. I'm still doing it. I'm still doing the endurance sports. You see, you can have every excuse in the world, but at the end of the day, they all suck. You know it. I know it. You need to step forward and do what you can right now, not what is coming down the road. I'm sitting in this studio. This is my friend's now headquarters. He had to close down his headquarters. Why? Because he had to take action and not sit around and wait for something to happen. He moved his entire headquarters into this studio so his employees can still work. He's pivoting, he's adapting. My marketing team, pivoting, adapting, because the message is not resonating for my business to my ideal client. You don't sit down and wait around waiting for the moment to come. You make the moment. Thinking precedes action. Action precedes opportunity. Therefore, thinking precedes opportunity. And where you focus, you find. Haven't said those for a little while, right? Did you forget? Did you notice? Action precedes action. Adapted a little bit because I had more learnings. I grew. You should never stay stagnant. You should always progress forward with your mind. And that progression gives you the opportunity to take action. And that action yields further opportunity. This working with my friend to move the needle financially right now, where did that come from? It came from a thought. And then I called him. I took action. And then that action yielded the opportunity. He will message me what he does, and I will follow in lockstep at something he is exceptionally good at. And that exceptionally good at thing makes him quite a bit of money. Create relationships. Be in the moment. Act in the moment, and you will get what you want. That is what I have for you today. That is what's been on my mind for quite some time, well over a week, that I molded around on how I would relay it to you. I am grateful for you. I need you to know that I love you, that you matter. People are counting on you. And it's things like listening to this podcast that will move you forward. But there is so much more you need to do. And I know you can do it. You have the strength. I can feel it. Even without you being in this room, I can feel it. And I know you can feel it too. So continue this conversation with your friends and your family. Leave me a review on Apple. iTunes, whatever it is. Spotify, Google, Amazon, all the things. You can find me on the socials, Mr. Brad Draper. Until next week, like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. I love you guys. Bye.